So we're going to do this video a little bit different. We have some questions I have to answer for the videos that I'm doing for this car. The first question I've been getting is, I'm referring to my motor as a big block Chevy 454, and why is it blue? So when I was building engines, I had an apprentice helping me out building engines, and the engine just got painted blue. I've since been correcting that. I have painted it the proper Chevy orange. I find it looks better. Another question is too, why am I running a big block? You know, when the small block is easier to put in. It's a little bit lighter, it's cheaper to get, just because. Big blocks are more fun. To me, they're more oomph, they fill up the engine bay a little bit better. I just love the sound of a big block. That's just my opinion. Rat rods, anything goes. You know, you can put electric motors to diesels to even if it's a steam engine if you want to put one in. That's all up to the builder. I gotta point out too the way the engine's mounted and the way the oil pan sits from the ground. I like to have a little bit of clearance from the oil pan on the ground, just in case if you're in a parking lot, there's a piece of sharp gravel or something on the ground and you lower the car on the ground and you make a hole in the pan. You're probably not going to have a good day after that. Another question I've been getting at is how am I going to register this car on the road if I want it street legal? The best answer I got for that is just contact your local MTO. They have booklets on how to put together your own home-built car or kit cars. It all follows under the same procedure. The rule of thumb, the older the car, the more you can get away with legality on the road for having no fenders and the windows on the car. So this one's going to be registered as 27. I'll see how far I can go with the MTO and I'll keep you up to date on that one. Another question I've been getting at too is my welds. My crummy looking welds are structurally sound. A lot of them are all temporary. Once the car is fully complete and I've taken it out for a little spin, whatever else goes wrong with the car, you know, it's like a shakedown. You know, there's a few things that's not going to be perfect. It's a one-off kind of car. It all has to come all apart. Everything has to be ground down and re-welded properly. Then it gets put together and then painted. The frame is going to get painted to the colors that I think is going to be cool for this build. Why am I using an automatic transmission in this car versus a standard? And there's a couple of reasons for that one. The automatic transmission, if I'm at a cruise night, I'm cruising down the road, I can leave it in first gear and cruise nicely down the road. It's comfortable, there's a place to put the shifter, as with this one the shifter is on the ceiling. If I had a standard, the shifter would have to be on the transmission, I have to run clutch pedals, there's a few more little things to go with it. Standards are more fun on a race car, but this is not a race car, it's a cruising type of car. So I'm going to stick with the automatic on this one. A few other questions I've been getting to is how did I acquire the wheelbase on the car? Wheelbase is, that's why when I was at the show I had it mocked up on the ground with no frame. That just gave me an idea where to put the wheels on the car, and that's what I went with. I didn't go too crazy on the wheelbase. I looked up a few other cars. In this case was a Duesenberg, which was a 127-inch wheelbase. So I went with that and it seems to work okay for me. Yeah, I've been getting a couple questions on how I achieved airbags on the front of a rat rod on a straight axle front end when it's basically unheard of. Some bigger shops, they do it, they have their own stuff to make it, but if you're like me in a small little shop and you want to make it work, the airbags are basically stock airbags from 3/4 ton pickup trucks. They can withstand up to 1,600 pounds a piece. The airbags, you know, are bought at your local auto shop. Anybody can buy them there. The way this suspension is designed, it's all in triangulation. If you look from the strut bars to the front of the car, and the width between where the strut bar comes with where the engine is to the front of the car, there's a space. And where my rocker arms are that go to the airbags, it makes a complete triangle. The rocker arm bars are tilted or angled towards the motor a little bit, that's for stability. And from the airbag out to the frame, the ratio is shorter, so the arm is roughly less than half on the inside of the frame and more than half on the outside of the frame. This gives it a lever action. It gives the air spring a little bit more power to lift the car. If your airbags are not as strong as these ones, these are 1,600 pound airbags a piece. Let's say if you had like a half of that, like an 800 pound airbag, you'd need the rocker arm ratio to be longer on the inside. Kind of like when you're using a crowbar or a tool to pry something with. The further back you pull on the bar, the more strength you have. Same with the airbag. Okay, the ride height on the car. If you do an imaginary line from spindle to spindle, straight across the axle, at ride height, the airbag should be completely flat. The rocker arms should be at rest at complete flat. And the top of the rocker arms and the middle of the spindle shaft should be one straight line across. This way here, when you're going down the highway, you have plenty of room for bumping. Meaning if you hit a large bump, the rocker arms can dip down. Or if you came off of a bump, there's plenty of room for it to move up, so you're not maximizing out the airbags. Right now they're set at the perfect ride height for highway driving. There's enough room in them right now. If the roads were rougher, I can put them up higher. And if I want to have it lower riding for the cool factor, if you want, I can put them down. And when the car is at rest, they have the ability to slam right to the ground, so the frame is right on the ground, slammed as it needs.